pressure of the things that I have in mind. I wanted peace, I wanted to be fine. I wonder why I cannot just sit for a while. I really want to see what it looks like. To have a moment I knew that would be mine. When the windows are all closed, like a picture of a time. When the future is a hole you're looking for. Save me from everything. Tell me where to find my way. I'm just looking for something I can make in another day.
Yo guys, what is up? Max on Outriders video, and today we're going over my updated Technomancer build. Now, with the new Horizon patch, a lot of things changed, and so I wanted to update this build, which now does even more damage. It's amazing. I consider this to be my strongest solo build out of all the characters I've played. Techno, Pyro, I have builds for all of them, and it carries people in co-op, and it is amazing for solo play. Absolutely disgusting. We one-shot, or we two-burst pretty much most captains, and we'll like 4-burst brood mothers. It's pretty silly, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If this video does well, I will be putting out guides for my other characters, so if you guys enjoy the video, if you find it helpful, be sure to drop a like. And with that, guys, let's get right into it. So we're going to go over our skill tree first, and then we'll get into our gear. Now, this is the skill tree that I rock. Note that there's 2 class points here that I haven't spent. That's because you can put them in 2 different places that I want to talk about. But in this skill tree, we're prioritizing damage, long-range damage, and toxic vulnerable. We do silly amounts of damage with this build. And our capstone, decay activating, decay increased weapon damage for you and your allies for 40% for 10 seconds is incredible because, note, our decay turret's on a 6.5 cooldown, so we're able to toss that turret just absolutely constantly, always keeping up a 40% weapon damage buff in addition to all of our other damage buffs. It's really nice. Now for these 2 other skill points, you can either put them into purge. Enemies afflicted with toxic receive 10% more damage, and grand amplification, giving us more anomaly power for each node. Or we can go into anomalous body and grab gadgeteer for our cooldown on our freeze. Now, either of these work. The top is going to be a little bit more damage, but the bottom is going to be a little bit more survivability, and also still a ton of damage. For the point of this, I'm just going to spec into purge and then grand amplification. But note that I've played both, and both are really good. Going this bottom is going to give you more cooldown, which is really good, which I'll explain in a second. Now, for our skills, we're using Blighted Rounds, Blighted Turret, and Cold Snap. Now, we, as this Trickster build, are going to be using the Borealis set. Now, Technomancer, for the longest time, never needed to wear a set. And the Borealis set now works properly, and it is insane. It is much better than this card reads. So, the Borealis set, when we have it on, is going to increase our damage on frozen enemies by 90%. Also, critical damage is increased for 10% for all party members for 8 seconds after using Cold Snap. So that's why, part of the reason why Cold Snap usage is great for if you wanted to spec that cooldown, you're going to be able to do it more often. Now, this increased damage on frozen enemies by 90% is for all party members. It only says the criticals for your party members, but if you want to play in a group, everyone is going to receive extra damage against enemies that are going to be frozen, meaning that anomaly damage and gun damage both stronger, and all of your damage is stronger. So if you're shooting at enemies, you're going to be dealing 90% damage to frozen enemies, and if you're hitting them with other mods or other effects, those other effects are also going to be doing 90% more damage. This is incredibly strong. I cannot stress how strong this is, and because of how strong this effect is, we are going to be rocking ultimate freezing bullets on both of our weapons. We're rocking ultimate freezing bullets. These are instantly going to freeze targets, and as soon as you get that first burst off on these, like full, whether you want to use, we'll talk about Tack Ars versus full auto ARs in a second, but as soon as you start shooting, they are going to be frozen, and then you're going to be dealing 90% increased damage to them, as well as applying all your status effects. Not many things will live more than a few seconds against you on this build. So showing on screen is all of the gear that I'm wearing with all of the mods. Now, I am by no means perfect in my gear, so I want to explain what would be perfect here, because there's still a lot of room for improvement on my build, but we still like just destroy all content in this game, which is it's a lot of fun. Now, for your gear priorities, stat priorities, you're going to want to prioritize pieces of gear with bonus firepower, long range damage. Those are must-haves. If you're wearing a piece of gear and you want to do CT-15s, make sure it's got bonus firepower and long range. Now, for the third stat priority, I recommend close range damage on your purples. Now, for this build, you need to rock 3 pieces of the Borealis set. I'm currently rocking the chest piece, the gloves, and the boots. And this is not fully optimized because both the gloves and the boots have max health rolls. The helmet is trash, so don't wear the helmet, but I'd recommend wearing the chest piece, the pants, and the gloves. Unfortunately, I don't have correct slots. I'd like to get rid of this crit stack mod on my chest piece, or on my helmet, and in favor, rock all of the damage increases against status effects. So like shatter damage, this 25% more damage against frozen enemies, 25% more damage against toxic enemies, with the 15% damage against frozen enemies and the 15% more toxic damage against enemies that are toxic. Those stack, and they are more damage, multiplicative damage increases, and in addition to our 90% damage increase on enemies, plus stacking the amount of firepower that we're going to get from Sharp Eye, Bloodlust, plus Captain Hunter to do even more damage against elites, with a skill tree prioritizing damage and all of our gear rocking firepower long range. This build hits like an absolute truck. It is pretty freaking insane. Now, for the weapons, there's 2 weapons that I like using. It's pretty flexible, but the first weapon is an absolute 0. This is a cryo assault rifle that is standard variant that is a little bit more forgiving if you're missing your shots or not great on your accuracy. I rock ultimate freezing bullets and dark sacrifice. Now, ultimate freezing bullets is so important because enemies are only going to be frozen without it during cold snap, and I think it is an absolute waste of a mod to make your turret cryo. It's just not worth it. You can put on ultimate freezing bullets. Every single thing you shoot at is going to freeze, and you're instantly going to be getting that that extra damage against them when they're toxic and they're frozen. Your first shot's fired, and then as soon as your second shot's going out, they're gonna take massively increased damage from it. With dark sacrifice to get 75% weapon damage bonus, it's absolutely nutty. Now the other option is a purple Tack Ar. This is the DLC AR that you can get basically by getting the Earthborn pack and leveling it up to level 50. It's going to have lock stats. This used to be kind of the meta for Techno. I never did it, but I did level up for this build. It's going to be rocking Bone Shrapnel and Ultimate Freezing Bullets. Bone Shrapnel is going to be doing a ton of damage against enemies that are frozen because it's going to get that 90% damage increase, and rocking Ultimate Freezing Bullets on it is going to instantly give us those damage increases. Now, I know it may be weird not rocking, like, because you could rock this with like Bone Shrapnel and Dark Sacrifice, but I'm telling you, trust me, this is only 75% weapon damage bonus. If they're frozen, you're going to be dealing 90% increased damage from all sources. It is worth to put on the freezing bullets. And guys, that is it for the build video. I might put some gameplay at the end of it, just to show you just some like uncut, unedited gameplay of how this build plays. But seriously, if you ever wanted to play with friends, this is a great build. If you want to just go lone wolf, this build can do all of the content in the game. It's pretty freaking nutty. You can make some small adjustments for multiplayer. If you want to do multiplayer, take off mitigation from death, maybe put an extra mag here, or trick up the sleeves so that you can never run out of bladed rounds, because if you run out of bladed rounds, you're not going to be in a great spot. But this build is so strong. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop a like. Let me know, because based on this video's performance is if I'll make videos for the other characters. So hope you all enjoyed it. I'll take care, or catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace.